Things my ex did and I still stayed for 7 years. And in no specific order. Her brother's girlfriend messaged me after they went to a concert the night before and said that my ex was grinding up on girls and dancing on them, trying to get a girl's number. And I confronted my ex about it. And she said that I was so insecure that if I thought that she would do something like that, that we should just end it that night because, like, I don't know why she doesn't know why I'm questioning her. And then she tried kicking me out of the car, like she was pushing me to get out of the car. And I still stayed. One night we were taking her grandparents out to, I don't know, out for the night. And I don't know what the fuck happened. They were all really drunk. I was the sober cab, as always, by the way, I was a sober cab, so that's another thing, right? She really liked the bebidas, okay? And so she was drunk as fuck too. And I don't know what the hell I did, but she literally like grabbed both my wrists when we're at this club and like yanked me towards herself and was literally calling me all the names in the book, like bitch, piece of shit, all these things in front of everybody. And I doubt anyone was listening or looking because we're at a club and it's fucking busy. But like, embarrassing. Your grandparents were there. Let's not forget all the things she's called me. She called me a piece of shit. She called me a bitch. She called me selfish. She called me a tool. She called me a child. Oh, she called me a cunt. She called me a lot of names. Like, name them. And I'll probably be called one of those. She's even told me to shut the fuck up. Oh my God. There was this one time. Oof. I was like in the process of about to go to the bathroom to take a shit. And I realized, oh my gosh, she asked me the night before to change the garbage, like replace the garbage can. And I didn't, I forgot. And it's literally like the next night. And I'm sitting on the toilet and she like barges in there and she's yelling inches away from my face. I have a journal entry about this, but like she's literally this close to my face screaming Bloody Mary. I literally thought our neighbors could hear us at that point. It was so scary and uncomfortable. And she was just, it was awful. And like, this is so degrading. Like I'm trying to take a fucking shit. My pants are down. I'm sitting on the toilet. And you're yelling at me. And I never really took that shit. Oh yeah, she would be like, I'm not your mom. Or that one time, we had a lot of times, but we were folding clothes and I never folded clothes with her because we had this thing where, well, she had this thing where she was like a perfectionist. So like if I didn't do something the right way, she would blow up. She was explosive. So naturally I stopped doing the things that made her explosive. Anyways, so we were folding clothes for some fucking reason. I don't know why we were doing this together. And I picked up a pair of pants and I was like so anxious. I was like, okay, how do I fold these pants? Like she likes it a specific way. I was like, okay, is the inline or whatever towards me or towards her? Is it going to be like, I need to ask her. So like, what am I going to do? The best thing I could do is ask her and maybe she won't yell at me and be angry at me because I forgot. And she hated that I was so forgetful. So I was like, okay, best option, let me ask. And I was like, hey babe, is this line supposed to be on this side or this side? And she was like, you don't care about me or the house, and you fucking bitch. And then she like ripped the pants out of my hands and threw them past me. She was so livid. Beats me as to why. It was just a pair of pants. Oh yeah, and then there's this night where like coming home from like her grandparents' house, because I used to cook every weekend or something like that at her grandparents' house, you know, cook them a nice dinner. And we were coming back home and I don't know what her issue was, and she was drunk or drinking or whatever. And we are like, I don't know, she just like threw her shoes at me. And then I parked the car and then I was like, I don't know what happened, but I vaguely remember. And I remember like walking to the door to open the door for us. And she literally like shoved me through the door. I almost forgot about this. This other time I went to the club and I don't remember what it was, but me and my bestie got like kicked out of the club for some reason. I don't remember. But it was because someone thought I was like, I was crying in the bathroom, okay? Because I was like, my girlfriend doesn't want babies and doesn't want to get married. Obviously, that was a big red flag. You probably should have left before then. And we're probably together for like a few years at that point. And we got kicked out because someone thought we were fighting in the bathroom, but we weren't, like yelling at each other in the bathroom. It was just loud. And my ex was so mad, if I can even remember correctly. She left us. We were drunk as fuck, and she left us, and she had the keys to the house that we were living in at the time. And me and my bestie had to like find our way home, and and I can't believe I stayed. Oh, and on that same night, I remember laying on the couch And while her and my bestie were like arguing in the kitchen, and I literally vomited on the floor. I was vomiting like the exorcist. And I came in and I told them, and she laughed. She sat there and laughed, and she didn't even come help. My bestie did. And so yeah, and I still stayed. Oh yeah, there's this one time where I was driving her around all over the place because her car wasn't working or some shit, and I needed gas money, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of short, you know what I mean? Like, could you give me like $5? And she said no, and I had to use my credit card. I remember this one time we were leaving my friend's, oh, this is horrible, my friend's house after playing like board games with her, and we were driving and she was drunk. Okay. And her brother called, and she thought I was siding with her brother on something. I don't even remember the conversation. And she got so freaking mad. And she hung up the phone on her brother like abruptly, and she started like screaming at me from the passenger seat, and then I don't know where she just slaps me on the chest. I'm driving your ass home and you're drunk. I'm driving you home. And I'm fucking crying. Like, I'm not even yelling at you. And her brother calls back and he's like, don't treat my government named Christy like that. Like, she doesn't deserve that and all that stuff. Oh, so sad. It was heartbreaking, man. Oh, let's not forget all the times I used to fall in the winter, and she would laugh and walk away. She wouldn't even help me get back up. And I still stayed. Oh, that one time that I got her a ring and she fucking hated it. And she made me cry and return it. And I still stayed. Oh my God. Or when we moved to Georgia and we got this house that we bought together, and she was yelling at me about something. I can't remember what it was, but she was upset. And I wanted to just go walk Lily because I was like, okay, I'm going to go walk this off. I need a little break because you're yelling at me. And I tried to leave the house, and she literally stood in front of the fucking house and said, if you fucking leave, I can't even remember, but it sounded like a threat, let me tell you. And she literally like barricaded the door with like her body. And she was like, you're not fucking leaving, because then our neighbors are gonna know that we're fighting because we always walk together. And I was like, the logic in that. And then I still stayed. She would also say I was delusional a lot. And I still stayed. I remember another thing. So when I was studying for an exam, for some reason she always like would get upset, and like, I don't know, I feel like she would stress me out before an exam on purpose, now that I think about it, because it was like every time before an exam, she would like do something outrageous, and I would be crying my eyes out and just so stressed, and I need to vomit, you know what I mean? And anyways, so one time I was studying, and we got a new dog. His name was Milo, and we have a few cats at that time, and we had another dog. And I was studying, and there's this like in my office, and there's this like cat house next to the wall, and we just painted the office. And she comes into the office, I'm studying, and she goes and crouches to her like knees or whatever, and she looks at the wall, and she said, I can't remember what she said, but she says, wow, you're so fucking careless. And I was like, I turned around and I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, basically pointing out the scruff on the wall, and I can't tell you word for word because I can't remember, but I do remember this part. And she's like, you're such a selfish fucking bitch. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she points out the scruff on the wall, and she says, looks me dead in the eyes and says, you know, I've never fucking hated anyone as much as I've hated you. And I was like, and I still stayed. Okay, there were a bunch of things, but I'm gonna stop at this one. There was this first time that I was spending New Year's without my family because of another issue. And we went to this like New Year's party thing with her and her best friend and her best friend's husband. And I went with my bestie over there, you know, and at the end they like decide to leave, and they had no room for me and my best friend to go with them where they were going, and they left us there. And you know how much my fucking Uber drive was? Like hundreds of dollars. It was fucking New Year's. But like, girl, you just left me. I'm fucking crying. But anyways, and I still stayed. So yeah, so much more to that. Anyways, don't stay if someone treats you like that. Please fucking leave. Oh yeah, if you made it to the end of this, put like a little black heart. Thank you, bye.